But we're going to end the podcast today kind of flipping it. We've talked about basketball. Now we are going to talk about football. We finally get to talk about football again. And we're entering spring, and we've had some spring games. Michigan was one of the teams that had their spring game this past weekend. Brandon, I know it's early. I know it's the spring. What teams are you looking at this offseason to make a splash next season?
Well, here's a team that I think that we could see this next year do well, and it's a team that everyone was crying for towards the end of the year. How about North Carolina? How about North Carolina from the ACC, a team that played very well this past season, and a team that a lot of people bitched about for days. They were robbed. The referees robbed them.
They were robbed.
Fuck it. Who cares?
Clemson shouldn't have won that game.
Here's the thing. Whoa, that's a bold statement,
North
my
Carolina
friend.
should have won
but
that
anyways,
game.
I think North Carolina could come on again this year. I think they have a chance to go farther. I think they have a chance to be pretty good coming out of the ACC.
Do I really need to say the team I'm most excited for this offseason? Do I need to? You guys know who I'm going to say first, right?
San Diego State.
I do like the Aztecs. The Aztecs are good, but the two teams on my mind, both of them are from the Big Ten. One is yellow, one is orange. And I'll go with the orange one first because they're probably not going to be that good, but I hope
But the hope is there. The hope is there.
And I finally have some hope for my Fighting Illini this spring. Two reasons why I have hope for my Fighting Illini. Number one, Lovie Smith is the head coach. Can he finally bring success to this Illinois football program that has been bad for so long? I need to feel that kind of youthful just excitement that I had when I was...
Oh, well, you'll get that from Lovie.
When I was a 15-year-old watching Juice Williams play. Now, I mean, Lovie will get a lot of, it's okay, Wes, we're still going to go out and get some ice cream. You had a good game, only threw 3 picks today. I'm going to call Rex Grossman over, and we're going to go get some ice cream from around the block. But no, seriously. Second reason why I'm excited.
No, I thought you were being serious.
The second reason why I am excited for my Illini, Mike Dudek, the now junior wide receiver, after missing all of last season, most of last season with his injury, can now come back and hopefully be the same Mike Dudek that we saw his freshman season 2 years ago.
And then the other one you're looking at is, of course, Michigan.
Oh, yeah, they are. How'd you know that was going to be the other team? Am I that biased that like you knew it was going to be Michigan?
Well, one of them you said was blue and yellow.
Yeah, blue and yellow. But yeah,
and there's no other team that's blue and yellow in the Big Ten.
Michigan, to me, I'm going to say this. Michigan could be the one to dethrone Ohio State. Officially. Like, I know that Michigan State kind of did it last year, but Michigan this year could be the one to say, get the fuck out of the way, Buckeyes. Urban, you're old news. Jim Harbaugh is here to stay.
Well, they may. I mean, Michigan was pretty good last year when they were making a run, really. I think that it's going to be another battle, though, this year in the Big Ten. And I think it's going to be the top 3 teams. I think it's going to be Michigan, it's going to be Ohio State, it's going to be Michigan State.
And before I get on that, I want to correct myself before somebody in the comment section roasts me. I said junior for Dudek. I meant to say sophomore because I had to look up. I did not know officially. He did redshirt last season, so he's going to be a redshirt sophomore. But no,
I'm glad you didn't get made fun of.
I mean, with the Big Ten, I feel like it's going to be the same thing that it was last year. The main difference, though, is going to be what can Ohio State do, man? And to me, it's because you lose Broxton Miller, you lose the super video game spin mover from week 1 of last year. You lose your best running back and the guy who I think has the potential to be the next best thing out of the draft running back wise since Adrian Peterson. And Then, I mean, you lose Cardell Jones. So really, to me, it's really Ohio State's on the not so up and up. And of course I say that, and the Buckeyes will completely prove me wrong. However, I feel like this year in the Big Ten, maybe it's because it's early. It's Michigan's year, baby. I'm feeling already they have a sense of swagger about themselves too.
Now, how about some of the teams that were in the playoff last year? What do we think about them?
Clemson has to have a good year, and mainly not because of just Clemson, but this is going to be the year of, okay, Watson, are you going to be the best quarterback recruit? Or are you going to be the guy where it's like, oh, he's going to be the number one pick, number one quarterback recruit in the 2017 draft, and then you come out this year and prove it? Or is he going to be he's going to be the best quarterback recruit, then Cody Kessler's it, and he's a third rounder? Or Connor Cook's it, and he's a second, third rounder? Clemson, that's a team, that's what I'm looking at. It's more individually on Deshaun Watson. He needs to have a big year this year. Needs to.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. He had a great year last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're saying that he needs to have an even better year than what he had last year.
It has to keep getting better. Maybe win a national championship.
I mean, the guy played well. I mean, he did a very good job. He even had a pretty good national championship game. Alabama was just better.
They were a lot better.
How about Iowa? Do you think they come back for fake ID round 2?
No. The thing about Iowa, and this is what I think, it was cute last year. They shocked the world, but it's kind of like, I'm going to compare them to Ohio State. Ohio State 2 years ago, first college football playoff, they shocked the world. Holy crap. Ohio State came out and won the college football playoff. Then last year rolls around. What happens? People know how to play them. No, Iowa's not going to catch anybody by surprise this year. Could they be a decent team? Yes, but I don't think they're going to be the 1-loss, 0-loss team that we saw a year ago. I just feel like people are not going to be, early in the year, people are not going to sleep on them, and that they could end up being like maybe a 2-3-loss team just because there's not that surprise. The team that I'm actually really excited about, and that except for Alabama, because Alabama every year you can say, oh, they have the best chance to go back to the college football playoff, but the team that has the best chance to go back to the college football playoff, and it's because I love the guy that they have running the offense at quarterback, Boomer Sooner. Baker Mayfield can lead the Sooners back to the college football playoff, and some are even saying that they could be the dark horse to win it all next season.
Well, they're going to have to get better because they did not.
And they can't lay an egg in the playoff game.
Well, I was just going to say, they did not look good in that playoff game. That was one of the games that people were most disappointed with because it ended up being, it started off close, ended up being a really poor performance, I think, overall by the Sooners in that one. How about another one here, Ricky? The other Rose Bowl team, Stanford.
I was actually looking at them, and to me, the thing with them, you're losing McCaffrey, you're losing Hogan. I'm not that excited about Stanford this season. I'm not excited about the Pac-12, let's be honest. Oregon's been on the down and down. Like, USC hasn't been as high as they've been in the past. Stanford may win the Pac-12, but I don't know. I'm not really high on them this spring. I don't know if you're different and you can tell me that, Ricky, you're fucking stupid for thinking that.
No, I was interested to see what you would say, especially with the big losses that you said with McCaffrey and with Hogan. Those two guys were crucial to the success last year, and it was great success. But I mean, replacing them could be quite the challenge.
I'm going to ask you about a individual player that, looking at him this spring, maybe what you expect from him this season, and will he be the number 1 overall pick next year at the draft? Leonard Fournette. Are we going to see a resurgence from Fournette in his sophomore or in his third year in the league?
Ooh, we will see. Leonard Fournette was going to be the Heisman winner in the middle of the season.
Before he just fell off the wagon.
People crowned him. People crowned him already. They gave him the trophy.
This guy.
Yeah, I know you did. I think we may both have. But I think that we would have had fair reason. I mean, he was getting about 200 yards and 2 touchdowns a game. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to try and do that again to get back on the map. He doesn't necessarily have to do that every game, but a couple of games like that, he's going to have to do that to get back on the map because he fell off of it pretty hard. Can he get back? Yes, he can, but I really think that when they hit Alabama, it all went downhill from there.
Well, and one last team that I want to mention, and it's because they could have an interesting situation for the quarterback spot this year, but the Fighting Irish. What are we going to expect from them this year? Does DeShone Kizer win the spot outright to be the starting quarterback?
I can't tell you that. I really do not know that answer right now. We're going to have to wait and see. We've got about we got 3 guys, I think, competing for it. Mm-hmm. And, it's, Brian Kelly, he's going to make the best decision, obviously, for the team. And that's going to be based off of the competition. I really don't even think it'll be based off of last year. It will be based off of the competition, what they show in camp and everything like that. But we'll see. Right now, I'll say I don't know. I don't think he's going to win it outright. I definitely don't think that. He's not going to win it, based on last year. I firmly believe that. I think that he can definitely improve on what he did last year, but I think last year was solid for him. We'll have to see. He's not throwing to Will Fuller anymore. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing.
Will Fuller's going to be in the NFL.
I mean, that was your go-to guy. That was your go-to guy. Some people are saying now in the NFL, watch for him. He could be a bust because of number of drops. But you don't have a Will Fuller. Those are all things playing into it. For whoever is at the quarterback position there at Notre Dame, we will just have to watch, wait, and see.
Because, it was Malik Zaire. But Zaire, the injury, I would lean towards Kizer only because he played more of last season, maybe has more of the chemistry going with the other teammates. However, Malik Zaire was no chump change to be the quarterback of the Fighting Irish.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that, these guys, you toss them up in the air, you don't know, because I think they both have they're very talented. They're very good. I think that, it comes down to it. One's going to have to beat out the other. I know it sounds very stupid. Mm-hmm. It sounds very, well, duh. I get that. But it's not one of those, okay, clearly it's going to be this guy, or it absolutely has to be this guy. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think that's the case.
Well, and it's going to throw a huge wrench into this quarterback position, not this season, but next season. You have Malik Zaire, who's a junior. If he stays senior year, and DeShone Kizer stays junior year, you also have the 7th best dual threat quarterback from Cedar Hills, Texas, of the 2017 class, also coming to Notre Dame. So you could have 3 high-profile quarterbacks on your roster a year from now if you're the Fighting Irish.
It'll be interesting. That's for sure. Always is.
We going to give a national championship pick early spring?
Nope, absolutely not.
No, not going to pick the Alabama Crimson Tide to beat who gives a fuck because it's Alabama?
No. See, you get me on these podcasts, and then you want to make picks.
These bold predictions.
And, I'm
but
just
it's not a Monday. Monday.
I'm not really into your, let's pick a winner 8 months in advance bullshit. So I'm going to refrain from doing that, as I always do.
To quote the great Dennis Green, you want to crown their asses? Crown their asses. But that's going to do it for the Primetime Podcast this week. I'm going to thank you guys for checking out the podcast as Brandon whipped a hair tie at me. I don't know what Brandon needs a hair tie for. He doesn't have those long locks, but thank you guys.
I was trying to give it to Ricky.
Thank you guys for checking out the podcast. If you're listening on SoundCloud, hit that heart and repost button. If you're listening on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm going to say it. We're shooting for 1,000, but I know I'm not even going to say a number we're at right now because I have a feeling by the time this goes up and you actually hear the words coming out of my mouth, we're going to be at 1,000. So thank you guys for when we get there. And if we're not at 1,000 when you're listening to this, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We're really shooting for 1,000. That's our next goal. Thank you guys. It means a lot to us that you listen to these podcasts. Young_Swan19 is Brandon on Twitter. I'm at Ricky Widmer. Most Valuable Podcast is at Most Valuable Pod. Say hi to Sean, our social media manager. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.